Welcome to the heartland of ancient China. Nestled in the heart of the Middle Kingdom, Shanxi province is a treasure trove of history, culture, and breathtaking landscapes that will leave you spellbound. People who love Chinese history and culture already know how important this place really is. For the rest, this video will serve as an excellent intro. Hi, my name is Sebastian and you're watching 7 Facts. With a population of over 38 million people and an area of 200,000 square kilometers, Shaanxi is one of the most populous and geographically diverse provinces in China. Alongside the adjacent provinces of Shaanxi and Henan, Shaanxi is actually at the very heart of the Chinese civilization, the place from where the culture, politics, and military might of the Han Chinese people emanated. It is home to the famous Terracotta Warriors, one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the 20th century, and the ancient capital of Xi'an, which served as the seat of power for 13 dynasties over a period of 1100 years, and at the same time was the starting point of the famed Silk Road. Today, Shaanxi is still a powerhouse of China, quite literally. It's the country's third biggest producer of coal, natural gas, and crude oil. There's not a lot of ethnic diversity here, as you might expect. 99% of the people identify as Han Chinese. But of course, no intro would be complete without a little bit of info about the history of the place. Shaanxi has a rich and diverse history that spans thousands of years, and it's been an important cultural and political center for much of that time. Over the centuries, Shaanxi has been the site of many important historical events, including the unification of China by the first emperor of the Qin dynasty, the rise and fall of the Han dynasty, and the emergence of the Tang dynasty as a global superpower. The famous Silk Road, which linked China to Europe, the Arabian Peninsula, and Africa, passed through Shaanxi, making it a hub of trade, commerce, and cultural exchange. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Ancestors and relatives of Homo sapiens found their way to Shaanxi a long time ago. The Xi'an man, a subspecies of Homo erectus, roamed these lands at least 1.6 million years ago. Remnants of this human were found here, and they represent the second oldest fossils of the species found outside of Africa. As to Homo sapiens, we can say that the first cultures that emerged from Shaanxi date back some 10,000 years ago. Fast forward 9,000 years and we can already find organized states in Shaanxi. Zhou, which eventually became one of the most powerful states in ancient China, saw the development of early Chinese philosophy, literature, and political organization. When it collapsed, an era known as the Warring States period began, and from the many smaller kingdoms that formed, eventually one rose above the others, the Qin. And under Qin Shi Huang, the first imperial dynasty of China was created, and for the first time in history, a unified China was born. This unified China had its political center in Xianyang, the modern-day capital of the province, Xi'an. The idea of a great border wall also emerged under the Qin and in Shaanxi. Intending to impose centralized rule and prevent the resurgence of feudal lords, Emperor Qin ordered the destruction of fortifications and defensive walls that divided his empire among the former states. Then he ordered the building of new walls to connect the remaining fortifications along the empire's northern frontier, thus creating the idea of a Great Wall. Moving on, after the short-lived Qin dynasty, the Han took over and continued to rule from Xianyang. The Han dynasty was among the most important imperial families in China's history that saw the development of Chinese economy, culture, and technology, and Shaanxi was at the center of all of this. It was at this time that the Silk Road emerged and started from the capital city. But however important the Han were, they were no match to the Tang dynasty, who centuries later emerged as the ruling family and rushed in the golden age of China. And believe it or not, the cultural achievements of this period continue to influence Chinese culture today. In all, 13 feudal dynasties established their capital in Shaanxi. There is one more important chapter to mention. In the Republican era of China, the city of Yan'an was near the endpoint of the long march by the Chinese Red Army. The fighting arm of Chinese communists fled from Jiangxi after the Chinese Soviet Republic was destroyed by the Kuomintang armies. They fled to Shaanxi, where they established their new base, the Shanxi Soviet, from where the communists resumed their revolution after World War II and eventually conquered the country. So as you can see, this place lies at the very heart of some of the most crucial chapters in Chinese history. The capital city of Shanxi is one of China's 4 great ancient capitals, today known as the city of Xi'an. Xi'an served as the capital for several dynasties in ancient China, including the Zhou, the Qin, the Han, and the Tang dynasties. Today, this center of 13 million is a vibrant city that boasts a unique blend of ancient history and modern development. Visitors to Xi'an can explore famous landmarks such as the mausoleum of Qi Shi Huang and his Terracotta Warriors, the city walls, the Great Mosque, hundreds of royal mausoleums, tombs, temples, and pagodas. But its modern landscape ain't too shabby either. It's a bustling cosmopolitan megacity with all the amenities you could expect from such a place. In addition, the city boasts a rich culinary tradition unique to this place only, which are a must-try for any visitor. With its mix of ancient and modern, Xi'an is a city that truly captures the essence of China's past, present, and future. The Terracotta Warriors is one of the most significant archaeological discoveries of the 20th century, and it's located in Xi'an. It is a collection of over 8,000 life-sized terracotta figures of soldiers, horses, and chariots that were discovered in 1974 by local farmers. The figures date back to the 3rd century BC and were built to guard the tomb of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. Each warrior has unique facial features and expressions, which suggests that they were modeled after real soldiers from that time period. The Terracotta Warriors were buried in underground pits, with each pit containing a different collection of soldiers, horses, and chariots. Pit 1 is the largest and most impressive, containing over 6,000 warriors and horses arranged in battle formation. Pit 2 is smaller but still contains a large number of soldiers and chariots, while Pit 3 is the smallest and contains only high-ranking officers. The discovery of the Terracotta Warriors has provided historians with valuable insights into the military, culture, and art of ancient China. It has also become a major tourist attraction, drawing millions of visitors from around the world each year. Today, the Terracotta Warriors are recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and remain one of China's most cherished cultural treasures. Shanxi was indeed the cradle of Chinese civilization, and it was here that the longest dynastic regime, the Zhou dynasty, was established over 3,000 years ago. They endured for 789 years. The Zhou capital was located in the city of Fenghao, present-day Baoji, and it was here that the Zhou dynasty developed the Mandate of Heaven, the concept of dynastic succession that governed Chinese political philosophy for centuries. This doctrine dictates that heaven bestows the mandate of a just ruler of China, the Son of Heaven. If he's overthrown, that means he lost his heavenly mandate because he wasn't fit to rule. Of course, we already know that the Zhou wasn't the only dynasty to be rooted in Shaanxi. The Qin dynasty, with its leader Emperor Qin Shi Huang, united China into a single empire for the first time. Their capital was located in Xiangyang, near present-day Xi'an. From this family's name, Qin, we get the term China. But wait, there's more. The Han dynasty, which succeeded the Qin, was one of the most prosperous and influential periods in Chinese history. And the Han's central point was in Chang'an, also present-day Xi'an, and it was here that many important cultural and technological advances were made, including the development of paper, the compass, and the water clock, sort of. We'll go a bit further into details in a minute. After the Han, the Tang dynasty was another golden age of Chinese civilization. The Tang dynasty was also located in Chang'an, and it was here that the famous Silk Road reached its height of prosperity and cultural exchange. The Tang dynasty is known for its contributions to literature, art, and philosophy, and it is often considered the pinnacle of Chinese cultural achievement. But hold on, there's a problem here. I should have started with a far more important central figure of Chinese culture, the legendary Yellow Emperor. Also known as Huangdi, the Yellow Emperor is a figure in Chinese mythology and history said to have been born in 2697 BC and is considered to be the ancestor of the Chinese people. According to legend, he was a wise and just ruler, a deity who introduced many innovations in agriculture, medicine, and warfare. As for his death, it is said he never died. Instead, the Yellow Emperor attained immortality and rose to heaven, leaving behind only his clothing and cap to be entombed. Guess where that tomb is? Yep, Shanxi. His mausoleum lies on Qiao Mountain, north of Yan'an City. These are just a few of the many important historical events that took place in Shanxi province. If all of these don't impress you, I don't know what does. Some of the greatest inventions of mankind came from ancient China, we all know that, or at least we should. And some of those inventions truly changed the world. Now get this, paper, the compass, and the water clock all came from the province of Shanxi. Maybe. Let's explain. There is no definitive answer to where the compass was first invented, as it seems to have been independently developed in various parts of the world. However, there is evidence to suggest that the first magnetic compass was invented in ancient China, possibly during the Han Dynasty, which was centered in the Shanxi province. Actually, the earliest reference to a compass-like device in China dates back to the 4th century BC in a book called Guiguzi, which described a device made of lodestone that could point in a certain direction. There are loads of other references to a magnetic pointing device, most from the Han Dynasty, and while we don't have an exact location of where it came from, it's more than likely that it came forth around this province 2,400 years ago. Over time, the compass became more advanced, and by the 11th century AD, the Chinese had developed the navigational compass that could be used for maritime purposes. Alright, what about the paper? The invention of paper is generally attributed to Kai Lun, a eunuch in the Han court during the 2nd century AD. While again the exact location of the invention is not known with certainty, it is believed to have been invented in eastern Han China, possibly in the imperial court in Luoyang or in the region of modern-day Gansu or Shanxi provinces. We do know that the Chinese paper-making techniques were strongly rooted in Shanxi, so at least we can say for sure that this province had a major role in the expansion of this invention. And we also know that the water clock, or clepsydra, came from this place, among others, sort of. Water clocks were actually independently invented in ancient Egypt, China, Babylon, and possibly other places in the world. In China, water clocks were used as early as the 6th century BC and were an important technology for timekeeping and astronomy. It's believed that it was first developed somewhere in the state of Qi, today's Shandong province. But the design of the water clock evolved over time with major improvements made in accuracy and reliability, and it became the most important timekeeping device throughout ancient China. And these changes in design that helped spread the technology came mostly from the province of Shanxi. So, while the province does pride itself with some major inventions, they're not exactly true, but they are definitely connected to them. The Famen Temple is known for housing a Buddha relic, which is believed to be a finger bone of the actual Buddha. The temple, located in Fufeng County, is considered one of the most important Buddhist sites in China and has a history dating back over 1700 years. According to legend, the finger bone relic was brought to China in the 4th century by a Buddhist monk called Buddhabhadra. It was then enshrined at the Famen Temple, which became a major center of Buddhism in China. Over the centuries, the temple was destroyed and rebuilt several times, with the most recent reconstruction occurring in the 1980s. It was during that renovation project in 1987 that a hidden chamber was discovered beneath the temple's pagoda, which has been sealed for over 1,000 years. Inside the chamber, archaeologists found a large number of precious artifacts, including gold and silver statues, sutras, and other relics. And most notably, they discovered a small Buddhist casket that contained the finger bone relic. The discovery of the relic caused a sensation in China and drew international attention. It confirmed the long-held belief that the Famen Temple was indeed a place of great spiritual significance and cemented its reputation as one of the most important Buddhist sites in the world. Today, the Famen Temple continues to attract pilgrims and visitors from around the world who come to see the Buddha relic and experience the temple's rich cultural heritage. The temple complex includes a number of buildings and structures, including the Great East Wall, the 7-story pagoda, and the Hall of the Buddha relic, where the finger bone is still enshrined. And that was all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave. Leave your comments downstairs, and if you wish to do so, you can help out this channel through my Patreon page. I do hope to see you next time. Bye.